All right, it's another problem solving, which in this case it will be helpful to use model. Okay, I want to know there are so many ways you can use this. Even to write equation, model can help you write equations easily. Okay, so there are 87 children at a playground. So we know boys plus girls equals 87. There are 23 more boys than girls. How many of each? How many boys are there? How many girls are there? Okay, so how you can draw model? Let's do that. So we can do B for boys and G for girls. Okay. So if it's 23 more boys than girls, so if there is only this number of girls, so you can do one box. This is a box that contains all the girls. So let's represent it with X. If there's X number of girls, because we don't know how many girls are there, so use variable to represent what we don't know, right? So if there's X number of girls, how many boys do you think will be there? It will be X number of boys plus how many? 23. Plus 23. So we know what this is. So it will be the same number of girls and then 23 more, whatever that X represents, and that's what we are going to find. So if you draw a model there, but we know both boys and girls add up to be how many? 87. Okay, 87. So we can just add, if we put these together, we get 87. Okay. So how we can write the equation for this? So we can add up X plus 23 equals 87. Look at, ta-da, easy. Easy to write equation like that. So we're going to do X plus 23 equals 87. And then that's the equation. So 1x plus 1x is 2x. So 2x plus 23 equals 87. And then we have a simple equation to solve, two-step equation. How do we solve this equation? Olivia, how do we solve this equation?
You would subtract 23 from both sides.
Exactly. Exactly. When we are solving equation, we kind of go the other way, inverse of operation. So we're going to subtract 23 from both sides first. So if we subtract 23, so here it becomes 0. So 2x equals 87 minus 23 is? 64. Oops. Okay, it's 64. All right, what's the next step, Niall? What do we do here?
You would divide by 2x.
What do we divide by? What do we divide by? 2x or 2? 2. We divide by 2. Okay, because we don't want to get rid of x. We are getting rid of 2 so that x can be by itself. So we divide by 2. We're dividing by. So we have to, 2 has to come second. We divide by 2. So 64 divided by 2 is? 32. So what does this x represent? What does it mean? What does this x mean, Kylie?
There's 32 girls.
There are 32 girls because there's one x here represent 32. So there are 32 girls. So then this is x is 32 also. So how many boys are there? Okay, so how do we do that? So we know that boys represent x plus 23, right? Mm-hmm. So see how easy that makes it? So this is for girls. So boys would be x plus 23, just for the sake of showing work. So 32 plus 23, which is what? 55. Okay, 55. So there are 55 boys and there are 32 girls. Do you think the model helps make it very easy? Simple? Okay. All right, the next problem, distance problem. Okay. Whenever you have a distance problem, anything distance, I encourage you to make a table. It's very helpful. So a non-stop flight from Billings to Minneapolis takes X hours. X, we don't know how many hours it takes, just X. The return flight takes 30 minutes longer. So it's going to have whatever the going takes plus 30 minutes longer. What is the distance from Billings to? Oh, that should be a capital letter. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so, and this is a nice drawing here. Give that. Okay, feel. So what I encourage you to make a table, let's do that first. And we know that, what's the distance formula? Distance equals, distance is speed times time, rate times time. So remember that? Distance is always rate times time. And rate is always mile per hour, is mile per hour. And the time has to be in hour, in hour. So when it's going from Tow, it's going to Minneapolis, what's the speed? What's the speed? They gave it to us. What is it? The speed is only mile per hour, which is here. It's 300. So write that. It's 300. And what's the time? What's the time? But they gave us a variable x. So we put x there. And what's the time coming back? What's the speed, I mean? It's 2. Okay, it's 250. So I should have used the blue. It's okay. And the time is going to be what?
X plus 30. Well, if we're going by hours, it'd be X plus 45.
Okay, so now they gave us 30 minutes. So this is 30 minutes, but we want this minutes to be in hour. How many hour is in 30 minutes? It's 60 minutes in an hour. So how many hour in 30 minutes? Is 1/2. 30 is 1/2 of 60. So you can do 1/2 or 0.5 hour, right? Right? So we want it in hour because this is in hour. So it's going to be x plus 0.5. So sorry, that's out of table. You get that? So now this is the distance. Okay. So this trip is, so distance, does the distance change when it's going and when it's coming back? No, the distance is going to be the same because the road, the distance from Minneapolis to Billings will always be the same no matter what. The speed will be different, may be different. The time may change depending on the speed, but the distance will still be the distance. Okay? The same distance you travel, unless you take a different route. Okay? But as long as you didn't take a different route, it is the same distance. So distance to is going to be the same thing as distance from. So both of them will equal each other. Okay? So we said that distance, which we already have in the table here. So the distance to and distance from. So we set them each equal to each other. Okay, put this up here. So it's going to be the distance to equals the distance from. So 2 is 300 times x, which is 300x. Are you there? And then the distance from is what? Or from? It's 250 times. Okay, again, this is x plus 0.5. Okay, you have to put them in order pair because that's going to multiply both of them. So don't make the mistake of multiplying just 500x plus 0. Because this is the whole time. But because we don't know what x is, you're going to get it and add it up. You get that? Okay, so now we're going to just solve the equation. Sorry, let me erase that. Okay, so let's solve the equation to find the x, because the x will give us the time, and then from there we find the distance. So first of all, distribute this. So this is 250 times x is 250x, right? Plus 250 times 0.5. Plug in your calculator. What is it? What's that? 125.
Yeah.
Someone check it?
It's right.
Okay, so we have 300x equals that. Now we collect like terms. So what do we do here? Olivia? What do we do here?
You would subtract 250x from...
Exactly. We subtract 250 from both sides, 250x from both sides. We subtract 250x from both sides. So this becomes 0. And then we have 125 over here. So 300x minus 250x is what?
50x.
That's 50. So what do we do next, Jenna?
Okay, then you're going to divide 50 by
Divide both sides by
50.
50. So if we divide both sides by 50, so it's 125 divided by 50 is going to give us x. So, and what is it?
2.5.
So what does that 2.5 means? What does it mean, Kagni? Time what? The time in hour that it took 2.5 hours to go from Billing to Minneapolis, going to Minneapolis. That's what we had in the table here. So that's what X represents. So this is only for the going. So what does the question ask us? What is the distance from Billing to Minneapolis, which is what we are, the first one. So let's do that then. So the distance, use the distance formula. Distance equals rate times time. So the distance is, the rate they gave us is what? What's the rate for going to Minneapolis?
300.
Is 300. Times, what's the time?
2.5.
Okay, 2.5, which we just, oops. So multiply that, what do you get?
750.
So 750. So the distance is 750. So, and just like I said, this distance is going to be the same thing. So if you check it for the other one, for coming back, so plug in x here. For the fro, plug in x here. So which is, what was x? 2.5. So 2.5 plus 0.5 is 3. And 3 times 250 is 750. So the same thing. So the distance is the same. Whether, doesn't matter whichever one you use. Okay?